Your doctor has ordered the DiagnosTechs Cortisol x4 salivary testing kit. You'll see the contents of the kit outlined here on the table. We'll start by opening this bag here, which in your kit may have 5 vials or may have 4 vials. You take all of the vials out here. You will locate the one that's entitled H vial. Everyone should throw this vial away, as this is included for a test that we do not run here at the clinic. You will then, so I'll set that aside to indicate tossing it into the garbage can. You'll then flip all of these little vials over and notice that they each have an indication as far as what time they will be collected. If we look over here at the requisition, flipping it over to the second back page, you'll notice that there are 4 different timing sections indicating the morning fasting, the noon, the afternoon, and the midnight or bedtime. The morning fasting one is indicated as the only one that requires an extended fast prior to collecting. We'll go over here to the first morning fasting vial just to show you what it looks like. You'll see it's titled here. You'll label with your first and last name spelled clearly and legibly and your date of birth as well. In order to collect, we need to make sure that we're collecting some saliva. There are 2 ways in order to do this. You can either take this little cotton ball that's in here, place it underneath your tongue for about 5 or 10 minutes until that little cotton piece is saturated with that saliva. When you squeeze it, it almost looks like a sponge. And then you'll place it back into this little vial, twist it on tightly, making sure that it's labeled and putting it into the refrigerator. If that's not you, if you're not able to produce that much saliva or this dries out your mouth, you can then instead open up this cap, throw that cotton piece away, and spit directly into this vial. There are little gradations as far as what the volume is that they need. It might be difficult to see here on your video, but take a look if you have the vial in your hand. There's a couple ways to encourage some saliva production, whether that's thinking about your favorite food, smelling your favorite food, even smelling pickle juice or chewing will all indicate to your brain that it's time to secrete more saliva because it thinks that it's going to eat. You'll make sure that you spit all the way up to that 5 milliliter mark that's on this vial. If you have any air bubbles that might form during the time of saliva collection, either slam it down on the counter or put that into the freezer for a couple moments until those bubbles pop and then continue. Once you're done with the vial, just like if you were to have just collected the saliva with that cotton piece, you'll twist it, make sure that it's nice and tightly sealed, and put it into the refrigerator. You'll do the next 3 vials all in the same day, making sure that you're spitting into the right time. So the noon comes before the afternoon, and then that's before midnight. Following this here as far as what timing you should be doing that for. You'll make a note here on that left-hand side what the time was, indicating if it's morning or evening. And then the last time you had a meal or a snack, selecting again if it's morning or evening. For these other 3 here, make sure that you don't eat 30 minutes to 60 minutes before you collect because that can contaminate the sample. Continuing on with this requisition, making sure that you complete all of the following that's included here. You'll see that there is one that says, did you perform the carbohydrate stimulation test? The answer is no. And then females will complete this section regarding their menstrual cycle. There are some medications that they list here to just note if you're on them or not. If you are on any of these medications, include the name, the dose, the frequency, and the date and time that you last took them here. And then at the very bottom here is a section for comments. This is a section just in case you accidentally goofed with what tube you spit in. Say that you spit in the midnight one instead of the morning one or whatever might have happened. You'll make a quick note that that's what happened. And then you'll go back to these vials, make a single line through that time, indicate what time that was meant to be for, and do the same thing on the other one. I'll flip to the very front side of this here. The only thing that you need to complete, because everything else will be completed for you, is this highlighted section here. The date that you collected that last sample, or really the date that you collect all 4 samples on. And then this the date that you ship out those samples here too. These 2 dates should be 1 day apart. So if you're collecting this, it should be shipped out the following day. You will also note after that little highlighted section, you'll fill in the bubble next to refrigerated because all of those samples will have been refrigerated. Double check with all of your demographic information so that everything is spelled right and the address is correct. This test will be filled in by some of our office staff, and the rest of these boxes will be X'd out. This is directly billed at your visit. You will not be responsible for an additional payment following us giving you this kit here. In order to prepare for this test, make sure that you avoid any sort of caffeine, including coffee or caffeinated beverages, throughout the entire day that you're collecting the saliva. And also do not take any adrenal glandular or support supplements during that time, as both of those can falsely elevate that cortisol test that we're looking for. If you have any questions, if you're on any of those products, please reach out to your provider. You will notice also that we have a little pamphlet here indicating some additional instructions. All you care about that you would like to read more information of is this very middle panel here, just giving you some more guidelines as far as how to collect saliva and how to encourage more production. Once you are done collecting all 4 samples, they've been refrigerated overnight, making sure everything is labeled with your name and date of birth. The caps are twisted on nice and tight. You don't want to lose any of that saliva in transport. You'll put it back into this little baggie just like so, keeping that little orange piece of paper towel in there, sealing this bag up, taking all the air out of that. Putting into this box here, you'll take the requisition and fold it neatly. And you'll seal that box, put that little label on there and that perforated edge. You are welcome to put your return address there, and you'll ship it straight to from a UPS facility. This will not be shipped from our office. You are responsible for shipping it from a UPS facility. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to your provider or our front office staff.